Hey, so apparently I'm live now. Let me just quickly check if I'm live. I go to my channel and see, yep, live night classes from Google certificate. Okay, cool. Alright, boys, let's just see क्या issue है. Let me just quickly check if I'm live. If I open this and go to my channel and see, yep, live night classes from Google certificate. Okay, 710p. Alright, boys, let's just see क्या issue है. It's all there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna keep it here with low voice, so I can see the chats. Right? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, let's get back to.
I think you get kicked in the face, you deserved it, because that means that you watched the foot come to your face. Got to be an asshole to fight somebody using their feet.
Okay. So now Google Audio Automation nahi, what was that? Control H. I need to bookmark that page. Where was it? Python can do good can Google Audio certification. Nahi. Where is it? Digital marketing course with. Yeah, this one. 29 practice. I need to bookmark this first of all. Where is it? This is done. Where my learning plan. Am I audible though? Yeah, it looks like I'm audible. Where is it? Yeah, I'm audible. Okay. So digital marketing is this. We can just bookmark this page real quick. You know, step by step चीज़ें होती हैं, right? आज bookmark किया, कल ये time बच जाएगा. What do I name it? Yep, Google. G certificate. I should do. Okay. G certificate, we have continuing learning. 7%. I need to do 10% every day at least. Okay, so कल थोड़ा सा लेट हो गया था. It's fine. Yeah, let's go.
Welcome to our video on how websites work. We'll run you down the basics without any need to get too technical on web servers and domain names, what they do for you, and also how to find out what you need to get started. Let's say, for example, you decide to open a bakery in the real world. First, you'd have to rent a space to house it, right? A website is no different, only you're not renting a space on the high street, you're renting a space on a server. There are loads of different services out there that can take care of this automatically, but here's a quick overview of what goes on behind the scenes. Now, bear with us, here comes a little bit. Is a computer connected to the internet with software that allows it to store or host pieces of your website, the code, the images, the video clips, and pretty much anything else that actually makes up your website. It's called a server because it serves up the right content when requested. That is, when someone actually wants to view a page on your website. Now, there are many companies and services that will rent you space on a server and host your website. It's just like a bricks and mortar shop. You pay an ongoing hosting fee, which is a bit like paying rent, leaving them to take care of the technical aspects of running a server so that you don't have to. Every single server in the world has its own address. This is called an IP address, which is short for Internet Protocol. All you need to know is that it's a long string of numbers that means any device connected to the internet can talk to the server and find it. Luckily, you don't need to understand what they're saying to each other. All you need to do is choose a nicer name to reference that numeric IP address, which brings us nicely to the second part of this video, the web address, or the domain name. Now, your domain name is how potential customers will find you, the same way people would find your real-world bakery, by the sign above the door. It's a thing that you type into the browser window to get any website, like www.google.co.uk or www.yourbusininname.goes-here.com. Let's take a minute to break it down. Everything after the www is actually what's known as the domain name. It's the part that actually lets people find your website, so it's pretty important. Any device that searches for this address, a tablet, a smartphone, or even a laptop, is communicating with the server. The server then sends that device all the correct pieces it needs to display the website, like images and code, so that whoever is on the other end of the device can actually view the pages. When someone types that web address into their browser, here's basically what happens. First, the browser figures out which server holds the content and then heads over to that server. The browser then says, hey, would you mind giving me all the elements that are needed to show this person this web page? The server then replies, sure, I'm sending along 5 images, 2 scripts, and a few additional files. The browser puts all the pieces together so the person nicely sees your formatted web page. And that's pretty much it, except they'd be talking in really confusing bits and bytes and not English. So that really would make sense to us, right? To sum up, deciding to build a website for your business starts with understanding how it all works together. A server hosts your site, and a domain name helps people find it. In this video, we'll talk you through some of the crucial early decisions you'll make about your website, choosing a website name, and actually planning how your site is structured. The goal is making it easy for your customers to find their way around and actually get what they want, because a happy customer equals a more successful business, right? Are you ready? First up, your domain name. That's what people will type into a web browser to find you. When choosing a domain name, you first need to check if the one that you want is available. For example, there can only be one tastybakery.com on the web, and if someone has already claimed it, you won't be able to use it. So how do you know if the name that you want is taken? Just do a search for domain registrar and click on one of the results. There should be a tool on the site that lets you see if someone is already using the name you want, and if they are, it may suggest similar names that are available for you to use. A good domain name is one that people can remember easily. Keep it short, relevant, and as to the point as possible. You may be able to get a variation on the name you want by choosing a different extension, which is basically the fancy name for the bit at the end. You've probably come across .com or even .co.uk extensions, but you might find others that are available and actually a better fit. For example, non-profit organizations use .org. What this also means is that although tastybakery.com might be taken, tastybakery.net may still be available. Okay, so that's the name sorted. Let's have a look at some other common parts of the website, like your homepage. This is the first page people see after they type in your domain name and actually get to your website. The homepage is your shop window. It's where you invite people in and explain what you're all about. A homepage also directs visitors to other pages of your website through what we call the navigation. Your navigation headings may run across the top of the page or actually down the side. Either way, it's a menu that lets people travel from one part of the site to another. How you actually organize a site is very important. Start by thinking about the websites you visit regularly. How are they organized? Now, decide what kind of content you want to offer and then group it together in ways that actually make sense. Many website building tools offer simple website templates that can help you get started. An easy place to start would be the pages and sections that you see on most websites, things like About or Contact Us pages. Your website's contact page might include your address, your phone number, email, and maybe even a map with directions. The About page might tell a story of your business and include photos of some of your best work. There's no real right or wrong way to organize a site, but you'll always want to put yourself in your visitor's shoes. What's he or she looking for? Or you might even want them to complete an important goal, like submitting an online order. Let's check out what you'll see on the pages themselves. First, you'll notice the navigation signposts like About and Contact headings. They should appear on every page of your site so that people can always get to where they want to go and also back to where they've been. Of course, there'll also be words or text, headlines, paragraphs, and bullet lists, and you might also have things like images and videos. Text and images can also be set up to link to other pages on the internet when they're clicked. These are called hyperlinks, or shortcuts to other pages either on your site or elsewhere across the web. Many websites also invite customers to interact, with features like forms to submit questions, maps with turn-by-turn directions to your store, or shopping baskets to buy products directly. Your website, your digital storefront, is a great opportunity to connect with customers. Choosing the right domain name, organizing your site logically, and including nifty features can really help your visitors find exactly what they're looking for. Hey, let's talk through some of the history behind search engines. We'll explain how search engines have changed business and tell you why they're a great place to market your business. Okay, so where did search engines come from? One of the earliest search engines was a program called Archie, which debuted in 1990, and it allowed people to access and search file names, which were basically the names of web pages. But Archie couldn't tell you what was on those web pages. Fast forward a few decades, and search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, Ask.com, AOL, Baidu, and Yandex have all come a pretty long way. These search engines use incredibly sophisticated computer programs to sort through a massive number of web pages. Most search engines basically work in the same way. When a person wants to find something, they type in a word or a phrase. This is called a search query. Then, the search engine compares that query to its catalog of web pages, pulling out the best matches to show the searcher. These are displayed on a search results page. A search engine's goal is to create the most relevant list of results possible to help the searchers find what they're looking for. The results page will mainly show links to websites, but you might also see stuff like local business listings, items for sale, adverts, images, maps, videos, and lots more. So how does this all apply to you? Well, let's imagine you own a coffee shop in the Cotswolds. Someone goes online and searches for coffee shop Cotswolds. Great, they're looking for a business just like you. This is a perfect opportunity to appear on the search results page. In the same way, if you're a technician who repairs an air conditioning unit or a local takeaway ready to deliver dinner, you want to show up when people search for words and phrases related to your business. Why? Because the words entered into the search engine indicate that the searcher is interested in your products and services right now. Now you can see why search is so great. It's a way to target people who are already looking for you. Many marketers will also tell you that search is essential to their online marketing strategy, and the numbers back this up. Now, this doesn't mean you should ignore other ways of advertising online. Your plan can and should include lots of different ways to promote your business, like social media, email marketing, and display advertising. But if you're a business interested in promoting products and services online, being on search is a pretty safe bet. Hi there. Let's discover more about how search engines work. We'll give you the basics on how search engines find web pages, what they do with the pages they find, and how they decide what results to show. When you're using a search engine to find the closest coffee shop, you're probably not thinking about the technology behind it all. But later, you might wonder, how did that search engine do that? How did it sort through the entire internet so quickly and choose the results you saw on the page? Each search engine uses its own software program, but they all work in a similar way. They all perform three basic tasks. First, they examine the content they learn about and have permission to see. That's called crawling. Second, they categorize each piece of content. That's called indexing. And third, they decide which content is most useful to the searchers. That's called ranking. Let's take a closer look at how these work. Search engines crawl the internet to discover content, like web pages, images, and videos. Each search engine uses computer programs to make their way through the pages. These are known as crawlers, spiders, or bots, which is short for robot. The bots hop from page to page by following links to other pages. These bots never stop. Their sole purpose is to visit and revisit pages looking for new links and new content to include in the index. Indexing is the second part of the process. The index is a gigantic list of all the web pages and content found by the bots. The search engine uses this index as a source of information displayed on the search results pages. But not everything the bot finds makes it onto a search engine's index. Search engines may find multiple copies of the exact same piece of content located on different websites. Is that even possible? Well, here's an example. Imagine you're not searching for a coffee shop, but a coffee maker. You might notice that the top of the line Coffee King 2000 has the same word-for-word description on the website of many major retailers. The description might have been provided by the manufacturer, but now the search engine has a decision to make as to which version to keep in the index. There's no need for hundreds of duplicates, so it's unlikely that every page will be added. So, what if you own a website that's selling coffee makers? You're likely better off writing your own description of the Coffee King 2000. Make sense? Right, that covers crawling and indexing, which just leaves us with ranking. Think about what happens after you type in a search. The search engine compares the words and phrases to its index and looks for matching results. But what if it brings up hundreds of millions of matching results? This is where its next important task kicks in, ranking. The way search engines rank pages is top secret. It's kind of their special sauce. There are literally hundreds of ways search engines determine rank, including things like words on the page, the number of other websites linking to it, and the freshness of the content. But no matter what formula they use to determine rank, the goal remains the same, to try and connect the searcher with what they are looking for. Say you've read about an Australian-style cappuccino called a flat white, and you want to try it. If you search for flat white coffee near me, the search engine will show you nearby shops selling the drink because your search indicated your location. You might even see a map to help you find them. So, just to remind you, search engines are constantly working to scour the web for content, organize it, and then display the most relevant results to searchers. Understanding how this process works can come in really useful to your business as you try to climb higher. Hello there. Now we're going to look at how search engines see web pages. Let's go over how search engines understand what's on a web page, which parts of the web page specifically help them, and how you can make your pages more visible to search engines. In simple terms, when you ask a search engine to find something, it looks through a huge list of previously indexed pages called the index, and pulls out relevant results based on what you're looking for. Pages make it into the index only after the search engine has determined what they're about. That way, it can file them in exactly the right place amongst other pages, and find them the next time a search relates to their content. By knowing how a search engine decides what a page is about, you can optimize your pages to make sure they show up in search results of the people looking for websites just like yours. Let's say you own a coffee shop and you've got a website to promote it. But when a search engine looks at the same page, in addition to seeing what you see on your screen, it also sees the code behind it, called HTML. Specific parts of this code help the search engine understand what the web page is all about. And knowing which parts are important can help you optimize your site. First part is the title of the page in the code. In this example, you can see the title in the tab at the top, Cotswolds Coffee Shop. The search engine sees the title enclosed in a piece of code. This is called the title tag. Many websites can be edited using tools that handle all of the HTML coding for you. That's called a content management system, or CMS. If you use a CMS to make changes to your website, there's probably a place you can add this title to. You can help the search engine index your page properly by making sure your page title accurately describes its content. That way, it can show up in relevant searches. The next thing you want to think about is the page's text. Think about who you want to visit your page and what words they're using to describe your products and services. Do they talk about fair trade coffee? Maybe they use the term cappuccino instead of macchiato. These are probably the terms they're also using to search. Try to speak the language of your customers when you're writing your content, because this can help ensure that they'll find your pages when they search. Finally, let's talk about the page's images. Search engines won't see those enticing photos of your coffee creations in the same way we do, which is a shame. But what they will see is the code behind it. To help search engines identify the image, give it a descriptive name. For example, image.jpg is not a great file name for search engines, so you could try something that describes exactly what's in the picture, like icepeppermintmocha.jpg. You can even take it one step further by adding alternative text in the code with your image. This is known as an alt tag, and it describes the image, which is useful for people using web browsers that don't display images, or for people with visual impairments who use software to listen to the content of the web pages. Again, if you use a content management system to update your website, there's probably a place you can add an alt tag too. So remember, use descriptive, unique titles for each page on your site. Write for your customers, but remember to include important words and phrases that can help search engines understand what your pages are all about. And don't forget to name image files with descriptive words and include alternative text. Together, all of these Hey, are you ready to dive into the world of organic search? Here, we're going to explain what organic or unpaid results are. We'll find out what search engine optimization means and discover how good website content affects the organic search results. Okay, let's get started. Back to the coffee shop, and imagine that you've just started offering authentic French macarons using an old family recipe. You're really excited to share the news with other macaron lovers living in your city. Perhaps some of them are already searching for these international treats online. So, how do you help them find you? Well, when someone searches for something using a search engine, the results page they see contains a list of organic or unpaid results. Organic results typically appear in the center of the page and are the results the search engine decides are the best match for the words that were typed in, which is called the search query. Result pages will also display advertisements or paid results, though they'll be separate and labeled as ads. Although organic results and ads appear on the same page, there's one big difference. There's no cost to appear in the organic results. Websites do not and cannot pay to appear here. So if you want to improve your website's chances of appearing in the unpaid results, it all comes down to quality. Think of it this way. The search engine's primary goal is to help people find what they're looking for. If you can help the search engine decide that your website is what people are searching for, you're in pretty good shape. If you're making improvements to your website to help it appear in organic results, that's called search engine optimization, or SEO. Good SEO involves helping a search engine find and understand your site. So what do search engines like? Good, relevant content. Think about exactly what your coffee shop's potential customers might be searching for. If they want a macaron, they might search for that word. But that's a pretty broad search, and it could also mean the searcher is looking for a recipe, an image, or even the history of the pastry. If your aim is to appear on searches for homemade macarons in your city, try to create relevant, original content to reinforce this. You could focus on the how, being that all of your macarons are made from scratch at your location. Or focus on the where, being that your macarons are available at your bakery or delivered to certain areas. This can help your website appear on searches for macaron bakery or related searches like best macarons in Cotswolds, or ready-made macaron for pickup now. That's organic search results. Showing up in them is a great way to help customers find you, and it won't cost you a thing. All you have to do is make sure your content is relevant to the people searching, so they'll click and visit to learn more. We've got more coming up on this, so stick with us. Hey there. Ready to learn a bit about advertising on search engines? We'll cover how advertising on search engines works. That's called SEM, or search engine marketing. We'll explain why it's so effective and how businesses compete to show ads.
It was really interesting when it came to ads, what works and what doesn't. I came from a background of TV where I thought maybe it was a good idea to trade on the career I'd had. But when people are searching for, say, for example, a wedding speechwriter, they're looking specifically for someone who can solve that problem. I was looking at the ad performance, which ads were working, and the click-through rate. The ones that were working well were the ones that were servicing a specific need. And I saw that first by running an ad, which was titled Last Minute Panic. And that started getting lots of hits because suddenly I'm advertising something that a lot of people are searching for. And they need to see that in the ad and believe in the ad in a split second. So I had to make them a lot more specific and a lot more believable as well.
Imagine you live in the Cotswolds, and you're out running errands and you're desperate for a coffee. You pull out your mobile and search coffee shop Cotswolds. Now you have a page full of options to consider. Every section on the page, the map, the ads, and the search results, presents various options, and there's quite a few. Some of these results are selected by the search engine's organic formula. These pages are considered the most relevant web pages that the search engine can find for this search query. The other sections are ads. If you compare the ads you see to those in print magazines, you might notice one big difference. Every ad is for a coffee shop. You don't see ads that are for unrelated things, and, interestingly enough, the adverts seem quite similar to the organic results. This is by design, and it's what makes paid search advertising so effective. A search engine's most important job is to show people the results they're looking for, and this extends to the ads. The ads you see complement the search results page with the ultimate goal of helping a searcher find what they're looking for. So, how exactly does search engine advertising work? There are several models. Let's take a look at one popular option, the text ads you see on a search engine results page. Every time somebody searches, advertisers compete for the opportunity to display ads. It happens in milliseconds, and the searcher won't see the details, only the winners, which are the ads that appear on the page. To decide which ad wins, search engines look at two different factors. These are the bid and the quality. The bid is the maximum amount an advertiser is willing to pay for a click on an ad. If someone clicks on the ad, the advertiser is charged an amount equal to, or sometimes less than, the bid. So, if an advertiser bids £2 for a keyword, that's the most they would pay for a single ad click. If an ad shows on the page but nobody clicks, it doesn't cost the advertiser anything at all. Ideally, bids correspond to the value of the keywords to the business, but the amount is up to each advertiser. Some advertisers may be willing to bid 50 pence for a keyword, others may be willing to bid £10. Bid averages vary industry by industry and keyword by keyword. Bids are important, but so is quality. Winning the auction doesn't always hinge on having the highest bid. Search engines reward ads and keywords with strong relevance to the search. In fact, it's possible that relevant ads can win higher spots on the search results page even with lower bids. In some cases, no matter how high a bid, a search engine will not display the ad if it's irrelevant. So, in a nutshell, paid ads offer another way to promote your products and services on search engine results pages. With a search advertising campaign that's well constructed, you can reach customers at the very moment they're looking for what you offer. Want to learn more about SEM? Check out our videos on search advertising. Hey, if you're looking for a great tool to get your website more traffic, then you've come to the right place. We're going to be talking about a free Google service called Search Console. We'll show you how it can help your business and how you can get it set up. So, what exactly is Google Search Console? Well, it's a service that gives you feedback about how your website is doing in Google search results. It has two primary functions. It monitors your performance in Google search results, and it also shows you how Google sees your site. Say you own a coffee shop, and your website needs some updating. Let's take a closer look at a few ways Search Console might be able to help. One way is through its Search Analytics report. This can help you answer a few important questions like, which searches bring people to your site? It can also tell you which searches click on your links. They can even let you know which other sites link to yours. Why is this important? Well, imagine you are checking the Search Analytics report to find the most common searches bringing people to your site. Ideally, you'd see words and phrases relevant to your business, like coffee shop Cotswolds, coffee house near me, pastries near Cotswolds, or fair trade coffee near me. But if you review the report and see unrelated or irrelevant words and phrases, that's a hint that the text on your website needs some attention. Another thing to look for is the number of clicks. You'll want to know how often your site appears but gets no clicks, because that's a sign your content doesn't match what people are looking for. The links to your site report shows websites that, well, link to your site. Think of these as referrals, and the list will most likely include other coffee-related websites. More and more people use mobile devices to access the internet, so while you're in Google Search Console, you should also check out the Mobile Usability Report. This will point out pages on your site that don't work well on mobile phones, which you can then fix to improve your website's performance when people search on mobile. There are two more really handy features to know about within Google Search Console: crawl reports and Google Index reports. Crawl reports let you monitor whether Google can successfully visit your web pages. This is important because if Google can't access your web pages, then your content can't be included in the Google search results. The Google Index report shows you what information Google recorded about your site and tells you if your pages are accessible. It's easy to get started with Search Console. Go to www.google.com/webmasters. Once you've signed in, you can add your website and complete the verification process to prove that you own the website. Once this is done, Search Console can generate reports for your site entirely for free. It might take a few days before you see useful information because it must first gather and process the data. If you see a "no data yet" message, then just check back a little later. Now that your site's set up on Google Search Console, you can then use the reports to figure out how to improve your presence on Google. Using the reports, you can make changes to help Google better understand your web pages and, as a result, make your website perform better.
Hello, welcome to our introduction to search engine optimization, also known as SEO. We're going to be finding out how search engines understand your website so you can tweak it accordingly. This means your content will be shown to lots more potential customers. First up, some advice from Adrian on how learning about SEO really helped his business.
Optimizing my site for organic search has been absolutely essential. I wouldn't want to be in a position where I'm just running a site just on ads. It needs to be ads and organic. That's a fully balanced business model. Get your site completely sorted out. Make sure your site is as clean as it can be, looks great, works on a responsive theme, to make sure every page on your site is doing what it's supposed to do. The first thing I do in the morning is click to see where I am for Best Man Speech. I'm nudging on page 2 of Google now, which to me is like Christmas. If I have the best site with the best information, I will stand out, and that's the plan. Simple.
Every day, millions of people search online for everything from airline tickets to zoos. This means there are millions of opportunities for businesses to appear in front of potential customers. Let's say you own a small farm and want to expand by selling your produce online. SEO helps search engines understand better what you have to offer. This means when someone searches using a word or phrase related to your business, like let's say heirloom tomatoes, you're more likely to appear in their results. When a search engine returns results, some of them are paid advertisements. The rest are unpaid results that the search engine believes are relevant to the phrases entered into the search box. These are referred to as organic results. Search engines have formulas or algorithms that help them order the list of results. The search engines constantly scour the web for new content and try to make sense of it. Where your website appears in these results is affected by the words you use on your site, fresh farm produce, for example, as well as other factors, such as how many websites link to yours. Does this seem confusing? Well, how's this? Think of a search engine like a matchmaker. The goal, to find the searcher exactly what he or she is looking for on the web. But how does this work? Well, to present the best possible results, the engines look for as much information as possible about websites. They might look at how popular sites are or what other people or sites are saying about them. They might consider words on web pages or keywords in the code of the page to better understand the topic. Each of these components will help search engines find the best match for your search. Search engines can now also consider the searcher's geographic location. A search from the UK will display a localized set of results. Chances are the same search originating from France will show different results. And with the explosion of mobile usage, search engines now consider the devices people use when they perform a search. But show different or what other people or sites are saying about possible results. Matchmaker. The goal, such as how many websites link to yours. Does this seem confusing? Well, how's this? Think of a search engine like a matchmaker. The goal, to find the searcher exactly what he or she is looking for on the web. But how does this work? Well, to present the best possible results, the engines look for as much information as possible about websites. They might look at how popular sites are or what other people or sites are saying about them. They might consider words on web pages or keywords in the code of the page to better understand the topic. Each of these components will help search engines find the best match for your search. Search engines can now also consider the searcher's geographic location. A search from the UK will display a localized set of results. Chances are the same search originating from France will show different results. And with the explosion of mobile usage, search engines now consider the devices people use when they perform a search. But just like a matchmaker who's been in business for years gets better and better, search formulas evolve and add more and more information along the way. Are you wondering what you can do to make your site more attractive to search engines? We'll touch more on this in other videos, but here's a good starting point. What search engines value most is unique, engaging, and relevant content, because their job is to find and show the most useful stuff. So there we have it. Search is a simple thing to use, and many of us use it every day. But what's happening behind the scenes is constantly changing. To effectively promote your website online, you've got to keep tabs on what search engines value most and make sure. Hello, welcome to our introduction to search engine optimization, also known as SEO. Once you have a good grasp of search engine optimization, SEO, you're ready to optimize your website. We're going to take you through the process step by step. You'll learn to develop, prioritize, and adjust your plan to suit your goals. But first, let's see how important having a good SEO plan has been for Mike's hot air balloon business.
What I've learned over the year which I've been trading is to really pin down and to come up with a more structured plan. It means I'm able to target and focus and put my efforts in a much more concentrated and effective way that delivers better results. Things like, I didn't know before that Google filters words, so misspelling of words, variances on words or themes. I can cut down on a lot of that chatter, if you like, or that wasted effort. And I'm also using things like maps to target localized business which I want to try and attract. I've really been able to see the benefits. For example, my listing has improved on the organic Google site. And of course, because I'm meeting the passengers, I'm meeting my customers, I'm able to get that direct feedback from them.
Let's say you want to reach new customers for your fresh from the farm fruit and veg online delivery service. Your first step should be keyword research. That means finding out what your potential customers are searching for. Are they looking for organic produce, weekly fresh vegetable deliveries? By the way, if you want to learn more about keyword research, check out our lesson about choosing keywords to focus on. Next, consider related topics. Are vegetarian diets popular? Do requests for gazpacho recipes come up? This will help you make your keywords more specific and a better match to what your customers are looking for. You should do this at least once a year as part of your SEO plan. Once you've identified good keywords, take a look at how you're doing in search results for those words. How many of these words and phrases bring up your website on a search engine? Are there specific topics that don't bring much traffic to your site? This info will help you figure out what's working for you and what's not. If a popular phrase like fresh farm vegetables isn't pointing customers to your site, you can address those missing pieces in your SEO plan. Once you've discovered the gaps in your SEO performance, your next step is to think about how to fix them. Maybe none of the content on your site mentions that you can arrange regular seasonal deliveries. Is no one linking to your site? Perhaps you can invite food bloggers to check out your farm in a hope that they'll mention you in a future blog post. Make a list of anything you think might improve your SEO performance. Okay, so now you have quite a to-do list, but don't worry, it's just time to prioritise. It's natural to want to tackle the items that will give you the biggest bang first, but be realistic. Adding an entire section about sustainable farming methods to your site might require hiring a programmer to help, which might cost a fair bit. In the short term, you could post a quick article about the topic on your blog. The next step, give yourself a deadline for each task, so you're working through your SEO plan steadily throughout the year. Okay, once you've set this plan in motion, don't just forget about it. Your SEO plan will change over time. But how do you know when it needs updating? Well, one easy way is to check in when you're making other changes to your business, like introducing a new product or redesigning your website. Also remember that search engines release new features and improve their algorithms. For example, many have made adjustments because so many people now search on mobiles. Finally, adjust your plan when something isn't working. Is there a web page that's not getting much organic traffic? It may need a refresher. Are you attracting visitors to your site but not making sales? Or perhaps you need stronger calls to action. Review your results regularly and shift focus to the areas that need help. And that's how you build an SEO plan. Let's recap. Start with keyword research to understand what your customers are looking for. Then use that info to assess your successes and failures. Brainstorm solutions to improve your weak spots and prioritize them. And never be afraid to redo your SEO plan based on changes in your world and the world of search engines. Be sure to check out our lesson explaining the SEO process.